Mindanao is known all over the world as a rich resource of minerals. For example, Caraga region is also known as the largest deposit of nickel in the whole world. It's located there's much gold still in a Apostela Valley in over places in southern Mindanao.
Good day, everyone. So, what is Moro Conlict? So, the Moro Conlict is an insurgency in the Mindanao region of the Philippines, which has involved multiple armed groups and has been ongoing since March 1968. So, the Moro Wars in Mindanao is about Moro Rebellion 1901 to 1913 is occurred after the conclusion of the Philippine-American War and involved 40 confrontations between the Muslim Filipino living in the southern part of the Philippines and the American soldiers there to oversee the transitions from the Spanish rule to U.S. overnight. Thank you.
Is the root cause of Mindanao conflict?
The 2005 Philippine Human Development Report 2005 PHDR lists the following major historical and contemporary roots of the conflict in Mindanao. There are four roots of conflict. The first one is the forcible illegal annexation of Moro land to the Philippines under the Treaty of Paris 1898. The second one is the military pacification by the American colonial government, imposition of confiscatory land laws, injunction or Philippinization of public administration in Moro land in the destruction of traditional political institutions, government fiancés induced the settlement and migration to the Moro land. The third one is the land grabbing conflicts, cultural inroads against the Moros, the Jabayda massacre and 1968, killing of Muslim army recruits by their superiors. The last one is the illegal Christian vigilante and military atrocities in 1970 to 1972 and government neglect and inaction on Moro protests and grievance.
The 2005 PHDR states that the declaration of martial law on September 21, 1972 by then President Ferdinand E. Marcos was triggering event of the contemporary Moro armed struggle. The migration of Filipino from the northern and central regions of Philippines to Mindanao led to conflicts. As the 2005 PHDR explains, the Muslims resented the loss of their lands, including those Idolbat which formed part of their traditional community. This resentment grew as Muslims witnessed the usurpation by Christian settlers of vast tracts of prime lands. This ignited disputes between them and the Christian settlers. The question on land ownership and land disputes between Muslims and Christians was crucial during the post-war periods.
The root cause of armed conflict in Mindanao can be found in the native of Mindanao people's continuing struggle for their rights to self-determination, a struggle that involved an assertion of their identity and the demand for meaningful governance in the face of national government failure to realize genuine social progress and peace and development in the southern Philippines. The struggle is also a response to historical injustice and grave human rights violations committed against the people of Mindanao. With a claimer to correct this historical injustice, to recognize their inherent right to chart their own political and cultural path, the Bangsamoro people, together with their non-Moro allies, have struggled to get their call heard and act upon the central government. What were the strategies pursued by the government of the Philippines to solve the conflict? The statement between the Philippine government and the insurgent force of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front or the MILF, the ongoing global war on terror and the government desire
for peace in the southern Philippines in order to bolster the country's economy have created an environment conducive to a resolution of Muslim secession rebellion. Its biggest obstacle in the peace process is no longer whether the parties can reach an agreement, but whether that agreement can really bring sustainable peace and development in the South. The long history of conflict in the field approach to resolve it has created deep division among Muslims and the general Filipino populace, which regards any peace agreement with skepticism or the most guarded of peace. The peace pact must be able to offer detailed roadmap that directly address the grievance of Muslims in the Philippines. Yet, the roadmap can significantly contribute to peace only when it is supported by the majority of the Philippines. The government of the MILF must read out their own constituents and engage their active support in the peace process. President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo must take an active personal role in winning over the hardline and activating national back. The government and the MILF must go beyond their narrow-grounded areas to find workable solution to the problem of the country must be to reach common ground. It is imperative that the parties explore all options for the political arrangement that in this agreement must have provided strong mechanism and implementation. These processes in the past have produced good agreement but were poorly implemented. A neutral third party must be engaged to oversee the implementation of the peace pact.
Philippines, a new strategy for peace in Mindanao. The latest briefing from the International Crisis Group details the emerging strategies of President Benigno S. Noynoy Aquino's administration for bringing the peace to the southern Philippines. The government has three goals: to implement a 2-year reform program to prove that the governance is possible to the Autonomous Region Muslim Mindanao or ARMM, to combine separate talks with two insurgencies, the factionalized Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF and the larger bitter armed Moro Islamic Liberation Front or MILF, and to lay the groundwork of the future Moro sub-state. The government has made the most progress on the first prong of its strategy, reforming the dysfunctional autonomous region with the support of some Muslim civil society organization. Congress postponed the 2011 ARMM election until 2013 presidential appointees will implement reforms over the next 2 years to prove the autonomy need to be synonymous with corruption, poverty, and private armies. The government has agreed to appoint some members of the MNLF who are unhappy their own 1996 peace agreement was never implemented to this and term administration to entice them to cooperate.
What are your recommendations to solve the said conflict?
To emphasize their deep sense of independence as a people, many Muslims in Mindanao collectively call themselves Moro, in the word used by the colonial Spanish government to refer to the Muslim people. This extends to the use of the group Bangsamoro, Moro Nation, to indicate a people separate from the rest of the Philippine population.
A student and a youth, I will will suggest a contract that is fair for the Mindanao and also to the government of the Philippines. And before they sign the contract, ask for the guidance of the Lord, at least have the possibility to overcome the Moro Conlict in Mindanao. Aside from the contract, another suggestion in the Moro Conlict is the Moro and the government of the Philippines must have a peace talk in order to solve their conflict. Talk about their problem, issue, and the laws that they directly understand.
What can I exactly recommend to solve this problem? For me, let's make them feel that they are part of the Philippines and treat them right with equal justice. Equal treatments. Should Muslims not be treated correctly? No, they should still be treated correctly. Give equal rights and let us respect what their religion is and what their beliefs are, and most importantly, is the peace and unity among the people of the Philippines.
I would like to resolve the conflict in Mindanao through peace talks only, to hear everyone's side and try to understand why are doing violence in their own country and give it a proper solution. For I believe that peace talk can solve